Hello and welcome. We are back with our second episode of the Roarcast Podcast, and I am Mr. Shatil Sala, your host, temporary host for this episode because we are so excited to be back with, for the first time, having our students being the anchor and the host of this podcast, the official podcast for Sonia Sotomayor. And today we have two very bright students from our seventh grade, Ruth and Kobe, joining us as the anchors. And today, since we missed our February podcast because of snow and everything happening all at once, we're going to reflect on our celebration of the Black History Month. And this is March now. We will also look forward to what is out there for us in future. Having said that, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our anchors of the show for today, Kobe and Ruth. Please say hello to our audience.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast, Mr. Sala.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast.
Well, thank you for volunteering and taking the baton from me. And now the show is yours. So I'll just give you some starting points. What do you think about how we celebrated our Black History Month this year? What are the things that you have done? What was fun? What could have been done better? Take a lead, start anyone, and take it from there.
This year, our Black History Month was pretty good, and we had a competition for it. Some teachers was doing projects or lessons to remind us about the Black history in general. It was fun. We had some activities to do, and overall, it was a good month.
Could you elaborate on a few activities that you have done?
There was this one project that we was researching about multiple black scientists, black mathematicians, black people in general that have made a big impact in our world today. And we did some projects about that, like why was somebody important and how did they save the world or change the world or made a big impact while doing it.
Yeah, that is very inspiring, isn't it? To see our representation and the leaders who have created the path for us to move forward. It is always inspiring to have those idols, those figures in front of us to inspire us. And I also heard that you had like days specified for different activities, like there were dress codes and all that. Ruth, could you tell us something about it?
Those days were called Spirit Weeks. Miss Willie made it, and on Monday, we first had to wear cultural clothes, which wonderful kids actually wore. We got to see Hispanic people, Nigerian, Cameroonian, other people from Liberia and other countries wearing their own cultural clothes randomly. Then the second day, which was Wednesday or Tuesday, on those days we got to see societies from other teachers, like Miss Graham and the reading teachers and other teachers like the newspaper club, the one that's in charge of newspaper club. Then on the other day on Friday we had the day where we had to do the competition. The highest grade that won was 7th grade.
And what was the competition about?
We had to bring enough canned foods to donate for National Junior Society.
Oh, that sounds great. And what was that door decoration contest about?
Oh, the door decoration contest. Each classes had different themes, and then the two classes that won were a reading class and one science one.
Kobe, thank you, Ruth. Kobe, do you could you elaborate on what the themes were of the door decorations?
For my teacher, my science teacher, she had, because not every teacher like participated, but my science teacher, Dr. Goldfarb, she had recent sense Harlem, something like that. It was like a topic that each teacher had to do for their door, but it had to include Harlem, resistance, something like that. But yeah, Dr. Goldfarb did it. Miss Garrison won in 7th grade. But yeah, I'm not sure what her topic or theme was, but Miss Dr. Goldfarb, hers was Harlem Reincensance.
That sounds cool. And did you have fun doing it?
Yeah, it was me and some other friends that was actually decorating her door, but we didn't know when the deadline was, and we were still decorating it. So it was that Friday, and we thought it was next Friday, but that same Friday, that's when they told us today was the deadline, and they picked their winners.
That is good to know. And I think that is a good segue for us to discuss what we could have done better next time. I know like February this month was it 3 weeks or like 20 days or less of a month because of the snow. So if you were to do something for Black History Month next year, what would you do differently? I would start with maybe, as you said, the deadline was too short, right?
Yes.
So if if you had the assignment in advance, the students would be more aware of what their expectations are from them and prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like probably it was, yeah, it should have been like March 1st or something. So like that Friday, and then we come back Monday, everybody's just looking around each door, and then we decide like a Tuesday or something. To make it better, just like more teachers to participate next year.
Well,
And then,
guess what? The teachers are listening, so they better take note, right?
yep.
So maybe the teachers will listen and come up with new ideas for their doors. And so I didn't know that Miss Woodley was behind the idea for the Black History Month celebration. And coincidentally, she is our special guest for the episode today. So we are so excited to have Miss Woodley here, who is doing this amazing work of curating and preserving this history of Sonia Sotomayor through the yearbook. So I would like to take this opportunity to invite her and join the conversation and tell us about the yearbook. So, Miss Woodley, welcome to the second episode of Roarcast Podcast. And please tell us how the yearbook plays an important role in preserving the school's history and the legacy, and what we can do to support it further.
Thank you for inviting me to the Roarcast podcast. So I was listening to you all discuss about Black History Month, and you were reflecting on the Spirit Week celebrations. Me and Ms. Torres collaborated on that. So we'll take your feedback, and hopefully next year it'll be better. We'll get some student input as well. But I wanted to share that when we think about preserving history, we often think of history books, right? But history books are more than the world culture textbooks that you use in class. One history book that I encourage all students and staff to purchase is the Sonia Sotomayor Middle School at Adelphi yearbook. While history shapes us all, the yearbook captures the moments that shape your story here at school. It would be wonderful to have those memories saved so you can look back on them and share them with your family and loved ones in the future. The yearbook can be purchased online for $30 for a hardcover copy and $25 for a softcover copy. Sales end on April 17th, and the purchase link can be found on Class Dojo or on the posters posted around the school.
Well, thank you. That was, by the way, I was taking notes while you're doing the sales speech. It was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you
And
so much.
if I may add something to that, like I think a lot of teachers, we try to reward our students with different things. Like Takis are a big selling point. Like for good grades, I think teachers who are listening also, I would suggest that they think of the yearbook as a present for the best performing student. If you want to do something nice for your a student, buy a yearbook and present it.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I know for sure last year Ms. Garrison purchased a lot and gave them out to her students. So I think that's a wonderful
Yay
idea.
to Ms. Garrison. Thank you. And thank you so much, Ms. Woodley, for taking the time to share the ideas of the yearbook and promoting it here.
Thank you all, and thank you, Ruth and Kobe,
You're
for
welcome,
your
you're welcome.
feedback.
You're welcome.
So coming back to the our conversation, Ruth and Kobe. So February was hampered by snow, but we also experienced something new other than that snow or ice. That was you all gathered together and raised your voice and opinions, practiced your First Amendment rights by organizing a student demonstration one day, right? That was something that was a highlight. The other thing that happened in February was that we did virtual classrooms. So these are the two things I think we can talk about, like what were your experiences in that joining the demonstration or seeing others do that, and how was it? How was your education experience joining classrooms virtually? So I'll give the floor is yours. Who wants to start? Go first.
The ice walkout was fun, and we got to express ourselves. The president from SGA, Simba, she made a great speech and inspired us. Sometimes we put it online on Facebook, so you can find it there if you want to read it. Everyone was expressing themselves and how we shouldn't be doing it with great posters. Some that were really funny too.
That is great. That is great. And there is a student demonstration policy 5112 by the Prince George's County that clearly states the rights of the students to gather and raise their voices as part of their First Amendment rights, which has its history in a Supreme Court ruling in 1969, which says that a student's right, their First Amendment right to free speech, continues even after they enter the school. So it is also very important to know that the rights we have today, these are all results of court rulings, which were led by people who felt the need at that moment. And what you're doing today is something just similar. You're raising your voices to press for a need that you think is important today. So that was amazing. And Kobe, would you like to share something about your virtual class experience? How was it?
Can I speak on both of them?
Yes, go ahead.
For the ice walkout, it was good, but it was just, I hope like news reporters should have came to show how everybody with their signs and protesting against ICE and stuff like that. During our ice walkout was also Black History Month, so we tried making it mostly about ICE, but just a little bit of Black History Month too, because it'll show where we came from and everybody that, because it was basically like the same thing. Hispanics are going through it now, and back then we was going through it now. I want to really say like fully Black people, but just people that wasn't colored. So it was just like a hard time for both of us, and we was just celebrating, not really celebrating, but yeah, celebrating Black History Month as well. And for the virtual learning, it was good. It was like we was on Zoom. A lot of people actually came to classes, more than I expected. It was good. The teachers was online, and we had some assignments, like typical assignments we will do in class. For like example, math, we did this worksheet. We was still doing the assignment. She still gave us time to finish it, warm ups, and etc. We had our normal lunchtime, and same for other classes. We had ed puzzles. We had to take notes. We had to read articles and stuff like that. So it was, I would say it was better than 2020 or 2022 COVID learning, because it just we already knew this. We already been through it. So it was just normal for me, but just virtual.
Well, that is good to know that you had a positive experience. But while you were sharing your stuff, I was looking through looking around the room, and I saw like Ruth totally not sold on this idea that it went really well. So, Ruth, do you have anything to add to the experience? I mean, I have my part of the story as a teacher. Maybe that will take a whole new episode, but I'll let you share. How was it for you? Did all the students show up? Or what worked? What did not work? The floor is yours.
The thing wasn't bad. It was funny midway, but in between, some students couldn't. Like find the link to join the Zoom, and some teachers give us a lot of work, like 10 ed puzzles in one day, expecting us to do like almost all of them. Then we got to do some of the work was regular. We got to do, and they explained it to us. It was like a regular class time. But some students also were talking, doing random things, like putting random background noises to make us laugh in between. But it was really fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, I think we as teachers are also learning how to make it effective. So it is a learning process from both sides. And yeah, as a teacher myself, I had good classes, but I also had classes where I realized that we all are struggling as a team. I would say though, like for teacher's perspective, I had one of those classes where there were a lot of like disruptions, a lot of chat group conversations happening. I told them, hey, listen, when you do this, the same thing in the school, I tell you like I'll write you up, but then I forget. But here it's all documented, so the work has been taken care of. So I can always follow your digital footprint and see what you've written when the class is over at my leisure and then write you up. So this was a funny conversation we were having, and I was teaching my students as a tech teacher what digital footprint means. So I was trying to make the most of the situation, which I think the students were as well. So I will again give the floor back to you to talk about this month. How has this month been, March, and what you're looking forward to?
March just started, but it has been okay. We started the month off by just getting to know about women history already. And since March is Women History Month, some health teachers, PE, reading, and stuff like that. But while we're talking about Women History Month, we're kind of also going to we're also like going to our I'm not sure how to say it, but like there's a specific topic we're doing in class and still trying to balance the Women History Month as well. But it has been good. Some teachers was talking about doing projects of Women History Month. Why is Women History Month important to you, and what does it do? Same thing, but same thing as March and Black History Month, but it's just some little differences that makes a change.
Thank you, Kobe. And if I were to ask you, what is that one thing you're looking forward to this month in school, academically?
One thing I'm looking forward to this month is just preparing ourselves and preparing myself for the MCAP after spring break. Because March is a busy month, and then we go to spring break, then come back, and then we do the MCAP testing. So we're just preparing myself and preparing ourselves for that huge test to do good and do better than our last test last year.
And how do you prepare for it?
Simple things like taking notes in class, asking teacher questions, and just doing little assessments of the MCAP, and just focusing on writing, getting our grammar, our paragraphs, and things like that.
So do you set aside a certain time during the day or class to do that, or you just find different times?
It depends on the class. Mostly our read class, and that's third mod. And then I go home, I go over it just to still keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think going home and just revising, refreshing in a way sets up the tone and helps you prepare better. And Ruth, would you share with us what would you like to do in April after the spring break? Do you have any plans in the school?
The plans I have is mostly to say thank you to all the women around me because they care about us and they actually took care of us. And mostly study for MCAP as well. Then try getting a better score than I got last year.
Great. And well, all the best with your MCAP exams. And I would like we have almost coming to the end of this episode, but this was a nice segue, like an interim episode between our first one, where it was me and our principal, Dr. Alicia, speaking. This time I'm having a conversation with you two. Next time we want you to be on my place and run the show. So if you had to say something to the audience, which is the students and their parents, what would you like to tell them, like to invite them to join this podcast club and become hosts?
Something I would like to tell the students, if they're interested in joining the podcast, is not as nervous as you think. It's not really like a full room and you're not like getting recorded, just your voice is getting recorded. So it's just like a regular day at lunch talking to your friends, but you're just getting asked questions and your opinion on things around the school.
So I'm glad to hear that you didn't feel it scary or something. I also think it's a cool space to work in, but like we have this amazing setup of like real functioning studio with all the noise cancellation and everything. So it's a cool experience for students to come in. It's a nice break, and you can uh, record your own episode like a real podcaster, and which you are a real podcaster now officially. So thank you. And what would you like to add, Ruth?
I would like to tell them that they should just have fun. Don't get nervous, even if you're nervous. Just have fun, breathe in and breathe out, and you'll do it.
Great. I think that was a great sales pitch. And with that, viewers, we are concluding our second episode of the Roarcast podcast of Sonia Sotomayor. And again, special thanks to Miss Woodley for joining us and promoting the yearbook. If you're listening, you can purchase the books, yearbook. They are available right now. And thank you so much for Kobe and Ruth for joining us and co-anchoring this show. And listeners, please spread the word, share with your friends and family, and ask them to tune in. Our episodes will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. And if you have any feedback about it, please feel free to write to me on my email address, which is shateel.sala, shatil.sala@pgcps.org. Well, and with that, I conclude this episode. Be well, stay safe, and talk to you soon.